Hello everyone, here's the beginning of my gay fiction story, Brady's Choice. The strapline for this one is choosing between a past and present love is never easy. Here's the start. The last time I saw Mr. Philip Matthew Keyes O'Connell, I'd slapped him across the jaw with the back of my hand and called him a bastard before walking out of his flat and our so-called relationship. He'd made no effort to chase after me, so I just kept on walking, away from my home, my town, and my whole life. Which made it something of an embarrassment to be facing him now, 5 years on, in an interview room the size of a postage stamp, and absolutely desperate for the job he might be offering me. Fate was a terrible thing sometimes, but that didn't mean I had to like it. So I kept my best professional smile beaming brightly at the right moments and tried not to think about the new way he'd styled his hair and his surprisingly distinguished beard. So, Mr. Traherne, can you tell us what you might offer in this role that our other candidates won't? The interview was coming to a natural end, and this must be the last question on their list. When I'd walked in about an hour ago, I hadn't expected to see Philip. I didn't even realise he had anything at all to do with this design consultancy, and I nearly walked out again. I wasn't the only one affected either. His face turned pale behind that dark beard, and his fingers had, for a moment or two, gripped the table edge. By the time we were formally introduced, however, his handshake was as steady as stone. Mine, I have to admit it, was less so. It turned out my confusion was justified. Philip hadn't been intended to be one of the interviewers, and in fact didn't even work for the company. He was here in a business capacity for one of the sponsorship companies who part-owned the project, and had only been called in as a replacement at the last minute since his colleague had found a job elsewhere. It looked like, if I still wanted the post, I'd be working, at least some of the time, with him. That couldn't help but change everything. That's the beginning of Brady's Choice. Hope you enjoyed that read. Have a great day. Bye.